Hey, how are you doing? This is George with Truck Driver Nation. Obviously, today we're outside the office, but we're actually working at a cafe. But what I'm doing the video about today is I want to highlight some new features that we're adding to our website for our students. And I'm hoping this obviously helps a lot of people out because, you know, the way we present the content, it was great. Worked, everybody's passing everything. But I come to realize that I'm just looking at some different things that would actually benefit you as students when you come to be taught freight dispatching with us. So I'm just going to go over a couple of them, and I've still got some more to add. I'm building them right now, but the whole thing is, once you build them, you still have a learning curve because you have to wait to get all the kinks out of them. But when we go down that first one we'll show is obviously freight dispatching. This is a good one because this actually highlights what you can make on your overall generating income based off the three trucks. And you actually can sit here, you can scale it. So you can move everything around. I can do, okay, if I'm doing seven trucks, I'm doing 10%. And let's say average miles per truck, just depend on how you're actually going to do this. And so, actually you can do, your load per gross revenue, and it's a good deal because you can change each one of them up based on your needs. And as you go down, you can see you can adjust all these different variables like insurance, all these deals. So it's a good tool that if you want to get like this owner operator variable cost per mile. So each one's got an owner operator monthly fixed cost dispatcher tool. So what I did is I made these, and these are strictly made for dispatchers. And you can go down to the next one. Let's just do a couple more. This is a dispatch calculator where you put all the variables, every variable that you got when it comes to having that truck. You can put it in here, and what it does, it tells you overall when you get down to the bottom, it tells you right here because you'll enter the information, but you help calculate, and it'll actually tell you what the overall net profit is on that truck. Now, these right here, this is just because this is data that was already in here, and I'm not here to show you how to use it. I'm just here to show you that I've incorporated these tools, so now you can actually see even after you get done taking the program and now you're dispatching trucks, that how to make sure that you've got everything needed to make sure that truck is going to do well. Like this here calculator, this goes by zip code based on the miles per gallon and everything. And there's different versions because the reason there's different versions because different strokes for different folks. This is a simple zip to zip code calculator. You can find these online, but obviously, since I'm building them, I just decided, well, keep one in here. And then I did one with more than one drop. Um, some of these are just real simple. You don't need them all the time, but it depends on what you're needing. Like this is a broker interview checklist. So when you're talking to those brokers, you can make sure you're asking all the right questions. This is owner operator onboarding checklist as a freight dispatcher, what you got to send them, what they got to send you, what they have to sign and send back to you. Um, and I'll try to get to some of the ones that are more in depth. Like this here, this is a simulated load board aggregator. And so what it does, you can actually go down here and find the load board and everything and play with it with your scenarios and adjust the rates and stuff like that. And when you go through, it actually gives you other stuff inside of it. But each one's different on the way that you actually interact with them. So like I tell people, take your time with it, look and see what you need. And and use them just to practice with. Like this in here, you have to actually click this here. And this is actually going to be working a load, like when you're anticipating, a Pro Driver Navigator Freight Dispatcher practice tool. So what I made it do is when you're doing this, you can come down here and you can use the hours of service with the load to determine if they're actually going to be able to make that load. And it's a good practice tool. But I come on down here. What else did I do? I built one for lane details and cost. It's just a profitability analysis, just another version of doing it. Each one has its own practicality. The backhaul practice tool, I built this one, but I don't never believe there's such thing as a backhaul. Freight's freight, no matter which direction it's going. And let's see what else we built. This is the ELD and HOS. So basically, it's like you're understanding what ELD in relation to the hours of service. And the whole point is to explain it because people don't always get it. And as you go through, now obviously you can play with it up here, but what I was wanting to teach you is as you see it, it will reflect up here what's going on down here. So like if you hit off duty, it gives an explanation of what off duty actually is, how in relation to that, sleeper berth in relation to that, driving, on duty, pre-trip inspection, and it tells you each one, so you can go through there and practice with that. And this is going to be a route optimizer tool, and it gives it because these are all practice. What the only it ain't the point that these you can use some of them if you want to in real life, but the point is to get you to understand what you're practically using when you're out in the real world. You know how you're going to actually figure things out. And this is kind of like a thing where you can easily just go in, do a compliance check, whether it's DOT and all this stuff, axle weights, hour services, just different little things. I've got some more I'm building. Um, I'm just doing the important parts, the main things that you're going to actually deal with. I think that may be the last one. Let's see. Yeah, that was the last one, I believe, on that one. But anyways, I just want to introduce that to you so you know we now have that available. In addition, we also changed up our questionnaire test. So, in fact, I might as well go and show it to you, even though this one has to go with the applications. So when you're in the course, I backed them off because I was doing the whole things of 50 at a time, and I don't think people were feeling that because people want to see what they're scoring, and by the time you get done with 50 questions, because I'm dealing with truck drivers mainly, teaching them that it kind of wore them out. So give me here test preparation. So when you go to test preparation, you can come down. Give me a second. It pops them open and they progressively get harder. So on this one, I did 15. I've got some bigger ones. They're going to be scenario based. I mean, even though we do scenario on the test, but all you do is hit start and the timer starts. So it gives you about the same time per question as you would have on the actual 50 question test. And as you go through, you can easily answer them. I just hit that one. It was wrong. But the point I'm wanting to show you is you got it wrong. But then if you come down here, it gives you the actual correct answer, the rationale. And once you get done, then it'll actually give you a score. Let's see if I can just go through them. Yeah, you got to click all of them. But it makes it a lot easier. Let me go through here. Ooh, I'm gonna score good, ain't I? Let's see. I just want to show you what the end looks like so you can understand how it works. And give me 1 second. And that's only 15 questions. Takes me a minute to do 15. Should be almost there. And then obviously it gives you your score. I managed to hit every single one of them and I scored an absolute zero. What kind of obviously I don't know what I'm talking about, right? But anyways, for example, so I got 0 out of 15 just by hitting D, I guess, or whatever, all of them. But obviously it gives you the score and certification failed. You need to 85 to pass. But since this is practice, I'll let you obviously go back, restart, and start the test from the beginning. So it's a great tool. But anyways, as you can see, we got 15 and um, the first ones, I did standardized questions. There's some scenario-based questions in there, but obviously we're going to make them harder and harder. But the whole point, they're in there at this point so you can practice tests and get familiar with the test. Because the final test is like that too, but it's got 50 questions. It gives you 1 hour to complete it. But anyways, that's about all I'm going to cover right here. I just wanted you to know what was new that we got inside our overall course to actually help you out and get you moving. And, like I tell people, since a lot of people ain't able to see, I'm going to put a couple of things over here just for the heck of it. So let's go down to dispatcher tools. Let's see which one. Let me pick one out. Maybe just pick this one out. So when you go to dispatcher tools, you come down and it basically has everything listed. Like for example, this is all the load boards I know that are legitimate. Obviously top load boards to start, that's what that was. United States population by city and state, weather maps and radars. These are the ones that I use. Government and national holidays, VPNs if you need a VPN, maps for routing and trucking, United States geographical tools, essential guide to fuel stops and calculations, tools on shippers and receivers, and it also has got the bad ones too. I update this as much as I can to make sure you understand people that you don't want to mess with, as well as the way that we actually look at like CDL scan is a great one to actually see what people have been doing. It uses a kind of like a almost like a scraper. I mean, it tells everything people that they didn't even know they forgot about happened. This is going to be for doing your LLC formation and for your enterprise building kind of deal. This is for accounting and bookkeeping, ELDs, trailer specifications explained. So you just go through here and explain all your trailer specs all the way through car hauling because these are the main trailers that I teach. DOT and FMCSA links based on what you're needing there. Um, freight trend lines, and basically they're coming off of, DATs are really good one. In fact, let's say this is different types of TMS that I know that will actually do everything you need if you're using more than one MC, and it breaks off in its notes. But if you go to the next one, it does the same thing. So when people want to look and see what our course entails, we have a lot of tools, and each one you click obviously takes you into that given platform for that. Like notarizing, being out on the road, you don't need it much, but it's still there. This is broker credit checks. Um, Building websites, because you do need that if you're building a business, because we know you're a freight dispatcher, and if you're wanting to scale your business, where to go to for semi trailers. Let's see, lead generation platforms, CRMs, AI-based tools, the campaign registry, owner operator dispatch matching service. So we got something in there for everybody. Then the whole point is because people don't know all this when they come in, because we help a lot of people that have never been exposed to logistics itself. So if you need fuel cards, these are some great places to get them. RTS, I would definitely suggest that you talk to them. But anyways, I hope that helped you out, gave you some understanding. This is just tools that we give you inside the course. Obviously, you got the course textbook and all that, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight because most people don't have the insight when we're explaining the course, what you're getting with it. In fact, let me go here. Let me go, since we're already here, we'll go to textbook just so I can get kind of idea what the textbook is. Give me 1 second. So what we do here is at the beginning, we always give a navigation instruction video because remember, we run in a virtual course. But as you go through, it gets the textbook and it starts breaking it down to chapters. And obviously, you can go through whatever. Um, Give me 1 second. That right there is in the way. But anyways, right here, you can actually go in here and you can see it gives you the different parts with the chapters under each module, basically. And it goes all the way down. So like the overall course is 46. This is more or less bonus. So it really goes down to 43. But like I tell people, this is always still helpful when you go into these. But and then again, we still break off into some more. Like this here, you can click on these and those actually take you to different parts in it. Each chapter has its own video content that covers each chapter individually. So you're not watching chapter to chapter. It's literally hooked to videos. Now, the whole point behind this, let me go here. That's the textbook and everything, right? So if you go to here, we call it the video store. So if you take the course, you come here, obviously you can see that there's a test. I mean, this is like a subscription. So people, what they do is they need certain things out of here and they can go in here and they get that particular content. But as you see, if you go down through here, all these videos, whichever one you need, so it goes video, 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 lots of videos because they're actually content that's made to give you more in-depth instruction about what goes on inside logistics. But as you go down here to the bottom, this sheet right here, this is actually, you can see that you can right here print it off. It'll actually download, and you don't have to print it off. I'm sorry, you don't, but it's PDF fillable. So if you're a student, you take this, you put in the course, and if you're a customer, you put them in here too. But you go in and put the titles in here, and as a student, I literally just turn around, I get the links for those videos, send them back to you, and now you got them in your database and keep them forever because they're always yours. But like I said, the course, once we turn it on, it stays on. We never turn it off because it's for virtual. Now, there are some instances we do turn it off, like we got people that do the pay as you go. Obviously, they don't want to make their scheduled payments, and I'm not hating on them. I don't know their financial situations, but we do turn it off because we work real hard to build our course. We do a hard job on teaching, make sure everybody's up to speed. So it's only right that we turn it off. And if they decide they want to continue to move forward, bring their account up to date. And there is a charge once they get it turned off because we don't do everything for free because you're eating up our time, and we're just as time sensitive as anything else in logistics. But anyways, that's a way that you get content, all these extra books that you need or video content that you need. So that's something else that we include. The other thing let me see if there's anything else I want to show you at this point because I don't want to drag this out. Um, that's probably some of the main things right there you need to know. There's a lot more in here, but I could spend forever going through everything. I know this is a crash course, but I wanted to get you some kind of insight. But anyways, I hope that gives you a little bit better understanding about where we've changed, the things that we're improving, and maybe we might be the right fit if you choose to actually be trained as a freight dispatcher. We got a lot of great people that are coming to our course, and I really appreciate your confidence in me. Yeah, absolutely. I know that I'm good at teaching it, but it's not to be arrogant. But the whole deal is just to know that people put their career in my hands, and I really appreciate that. But anyways, everybody have a great day. I hope you learned something for this. Obviously my contact information is going to be down below. So if you need to get a hold of me, go there. But please, like, subscribe. If there's something that you like, for example, on the apps, there's something you said you'd like for me to build to put into the coursework, I have no problem doing it. Let me know as soon as possible if you got some other fresh ideas, what you've seen in the past that helped you and logistically. If you're ever taking a freight dispatch course, then I would love to know because anything you do, yeah, it helps me, but it definitely helps other people and it helps them, helps their family. So, kind of share the love, even though it helps me overall make my business great because I want to have a really top-notch business to be able to assist everybody in whatever aspect of growth they're wanting to do in logistics. But anyways, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this content, and everybody be blessed. And I hope to talk to you soon.